Hi everyone, welcome back to the US CPA classes for financial accounting and reporting exam. In this particular video, which is part 2 of standard setting underlying principle, I'll be walking you through with all the remaining topic, which include objectives, verifiability, separate entity, going concern, unit of measurement, profitability, modifying conversion, and conversions, right? So let's dive into one by one to understand each and every topic in detail.
To remain unbiased. एंड ऐसा नहीं हो कि अपने मतलब प्रॉफिट दिखाने के लिए आपने वो अकाउंटिंग करी या एक तरीके से अपने डिस्क्लोजर्स ऐसे दिए दैट दिस इज नॉट डिट्रीमेंटल टू द कंपनी इंटरेस्ट. अगर कोई लिटिगेशन चल रही है तो आपको उसको पूरा डिस्क्लोज करना पड़ेगा. व्हाट विल बी द इम्पैक्ट लॉयर से पूछ के, जैसे आपने कहा. ऐसा नहीं है कि इट नॉट लीड टू अ कंटिंजेंट लायबिलिटी और इट विल नॉट लीड टू अ लॉस फर्दर इन द इयर्स. पूरी चीज बतानी पड़ेगी व्हाटएवर इट इज.
Yeah, 𝐒𝐿, आकर्ष, कशिश.
सर ऑब्जेक्टिविटी बेसिकली इसमें हम इसको मैनेजमेंट ओवरराइड की बात कर सकते हैं.
Yes.
कि the management should be very objective in terms of stating their financials.
Yes. So yeah, very good point, Gurmeher. I think, or it's very technical point also. Like we need to always keep in mind management overriding of controls. And the second thing, like Shivam, like you said, the information which is being produced in the financial statement should be unbiased. And for example, you have already shared about litigation matters, so that has to be like from the independent lawyer or third party like lawyer. Or same way, like the bank confirmation we do, AR confirmation we do, or maybe like when we make a financial statement for maybe like depend on the size of the company, we assess the risk of management overriding or management biasness, right? If you see like big company, or you can say large accelerator or a listed company, it's mandatory to have like internal audit. It's mandatory to have like independent audit committee who must be reviewing the financial statement before going for a final approval, right? So those measures are being taken to ensure the objectivity of the information produced in the financial statement, especially for a listed company, because like many individual like us do investment in listed company, so our money is being involved, our stake is being involved. To protect the investor interest, or specifically the small investor like us interest, so SEBI as well as AICPA, or sorry, SEC as well as AICPA, they put certain rules and regulation to make sure the management is you can say adhering to those accounting standards codification, as well as they are taking like more objective decision, which is not biased decision. And wherever you can say auditor identify the risk of management overriding or management biasness, they have to take certain additional concept or additional testing or additional activities to ensure the management has for adhere to the objectivity, and they have reported the financial statement more objectively, right? Verifiability also go hand in hand with the objectivity. Verifiability means the information which is being produced in the financial statement, that auditor or independent agency go back and verify, and once they verify, they reach to the same conclusion at which the management has reached. For example, plant assets are carried at cost, which is generally definite and determined and not at the present value based on the subjective judgment. For example, if there is a plant, right, and at the time of purchases you have made certain payments and you have invoices for all of them, and now it's a time for capitalization of that. So the capitalization of that, when you are doing a capitalization of the plant, at the same time you will be ensuring whether the capitalization certificate from the engineering department has been obtained or not. And engineering department or maybe the certified valuer, they all are generally different from account, finance, and audit team. If it is within the entity or if it is outside entity, it is generally an independent professional, right? Make sense? Objectivity and verifiability.
Yes, sir.
Kashish?
Yes, sir, clear.
Yes, sir.
So next concept is separate entity. Like we were discussing earlier, and each entity in the eye of law, or you can say when you are doing accounting, so that's an underlying assumption that it's a separate legal entity, right? When you consider one entity as a separate legal entity, so you do the accounting, overall accounting, as well as preparation of financial statement on standalone basis, right? And when you are doing a consolidated financial statement, so at that point of time, each standalone entity is being consolidated. So separate entity means the economic activity of the business are kept separate from those of its owner or other business entity. Right? Personal business transaction of a major stakeholder is not reported in the financial statement of the company in which he is a major shareholder. Because these two are separate work and separate assignment in separate entities. Another one is going concern or continuity. So this also we have discussed yesterday. Like going concern, that means in near future, at least like next 12 months, you do not have any intention or inability to continue the operation. So two things you need to keep in mind. One is management intention to continue. If the management, even though the company is in profitable, but the management has no intention to continue that operation, right? Then there is a going concern issue. Other side could be like management do not have ability to continue, right? Either they are lack of fund or they are lack of time or management, and they wanted to discontinue that operation. So then there would be a risk of going concern, right? An entity is assumed to have an indefinite life. Generally, like if you remember from 11th standard class of the business management, right? In that you might have learned men may come, men may go, but company will continue, right? Have you heard this term?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
In
sir.
your business study, 11th standard, right?
Yes.
So the whole objective is the going concern, basically, right? The entity is assumed to have indefinite life or at least a life sufficiently long enough for it to accomplish its objective and fulfill its legal obligation, right? So liquidation, for example, if there is any going concern issue, then you need to make a financial statement on a liquidation basis. Liquidation basis of financial statement means everything will be valued at net realizable value or fair market value. That means you are selling anything and everything today, then how much would be the money you will be collecting for the asset and how much money you need to pay for the liabilities, right? So far, so good for all the 9 items.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Yes, sir.
sir.
So 10th one is unit of measurement. Like in India, unit of measurement, we generally use the INR. In US, we use US dollar. In different country, we use their different currency, right? So these currencies are generally considered as unit of measurement for financial statement perspective, right? But otherwise, the unit of measurement could be, for example, if you are taking gas, right? So it will be weight like kgs, right? Or second thing, if you are taking petrol or diesel, it will be in liters, right? So unit of measurement for the respective item could be different, but when it comes to financial statement, it is more or less the currency, right? So financial data should be measured using a common stable monetary unit, which is a currency. So why it said stable monetary unit? Do you remember the concept of hyperinflationary economy?
Yes, sir.
Right? So
Yes,
if
sir.
that country do have hyperinflationary economy, that means their local currency are fluctuating more than 100% in 3 years, right?
Yeah.
Right. In that case of scenario, you'll be choosing the more stable currency to represent your financial statement. Like I have discussed an example back in 2016 when I was working for a company in Nigeria. So at that point of time, like their functional currency earlier, we are using Naira, which is a local currency of Nigeria. But later on, due to hyperinflationary impact, we have changed the functional currency from Naira to US dollar. Considering other factors also, there are few factors which you need to keep in mind, like from where you are doing majority of your earning, from where you in which currency you are doing majority of expenses, in which currency you have purchased the capital, so on and so forth. Right? All those criteria you need to evaluate, but if those criteria are met, then you can change the monetary unit from local currency to the US dollar as well. So unit of measurement is very simple, the currency of the respective country or functional currency in case of financial statement. The economic activity of a US business enterprise is quantified in terms of dollar, right? Inflationary trend are not reflected in the primary financial statement by adjustment of non-monetary items. Last one is periodicity. Do you remember periodicity? This concept we have touched base yesterday also. What do you mean by periodicity? Are you guys with me?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
What is periodicity?
सर periodicity means
Sir,
कि
report.
एक selected period के लिए we present our financial statements. ये नहीं कि भाई चले ही जा रहे हैं there is no period. So for generally it is for a financial year. वो financial year हर country का अलग हो सकता है. Like for India it is April to 31st March. US में calendar year is financial year. और एंड कुछ कंपनीज के लिए ऑपरेटिंग साइकिल भी होती है, बट मैंने वो प्रैक्टिकली अभी तक मैंने कभी देखा नहीं है, बट दैट इज पीरियड.
How about others? Anything you would like to add?
Like sir, it is
Kashish?
for certain period,
Hmm?
like quarterly report होगी,
Hmm.
annually होगी and semi-annually. So it is
Hmm.
for the particular purpose and particular period.
Hmm. Yeah, Shivam? Gurmeher?
कवर कर ही दिया मैंने बेसिकली.
Yeah, periodicity include the period for which the financial statement are being prepared and disclosed. It can be monthly, quarterly, half yearly, annually, or it can be a 5-year business plans. Right? So periodicity means the period which is being covered to prepare the financial statement. The life of the business is divided into artificial time period is called periodicity. Although the success or failure of an enterprise is subject to most accurate determination when the enterprise discontinue operation, financial statements are prepared annually. Right? So we have covered all the 11 principles which are underlying principle when you are preparing the gap, when you are drafting the accounting standard codification. These 11 things you need to keep in mind. Any doubt so far? Kashish, Gurmeher,
Oh,
right?
sir.
Why you guys are feeling so drowsy?
No sir, clear.
ये सर बिल्कुल सही है. मैं जागा बहुत सर अभी.
मैं भी जग गया सर. मैं भी जग
Okay.
गया.
Okay. Yeah, no worries. We do this.
जनरल एंट्री वाले क्वेश्चंस आते हैं.
So let's
टॉपिक जिसमें जनरल एंट्रीज
let's
होती हैं
jump
वो
onto
थोड़ी
the
इंटरेस्टिंग
practice.
होती है.
Let's jump onto the
This is more.
practice first. Let's do these 3 questions first, and then we'll finish this small concept, and then we'll take a coffee break. Right? So let's do 3 questions. Which of the following is generally accepted accounting principle that illustrate the practice of conservatism during the particular reporting period? What is conservatism?
तो मतलब जो लॉसेस है उनको रिकग्नाइज करना पड़ेगा एंड गेन शुडंट बी रिकग्नाइज्ड. तो फोर्थ इज द आंसर सर.
Once again, first option is capitalization of research and development costs. Do we follow conservatism approach and capitalize the research and development expenditure?
No, sir.
No,
No.
we'll expense off, right? We'll do the capitalization only when
वो criteria था.
Feasibility.
Interest is paid. I guess interest is paid अगर हमने ले रखा है तो वो capitalize होगा.
No,
Right.
interest capitalization is different thing. This is about research and development.
तो
When do you
feasibility
capitalize this?
establish होनी चाहिए ना.
Yes, and the feasibility is being established, right? So if you remember in research and development, there are 2 phases. One is research phase, second is development phase. Research phase we never capitalize, right? But once research is done and the feasibility is being established, then development costs you can capitalize, right? Second is accrual of contingency deemed to be reasonably possible. Accrual of contingency deemed to be reasonably possible. Do we accrue when there is reasonable possible? Contingency deemed to be a reasonable possible.
तो most likely पे करते हैं accrue तो.
Yes.
इस पर disclosure जाता है.
Yes, it will go disclosure, right? Third is reporting investment with appreciated market value at market value. Do we appreciate investment?
No, sir.
We follow conservatism. Answer is no, right? Reporting inventory at lower of cost or market value.
Exactly. Impairment automatically book हो गई ना इसमें इस principle को follow करने से.
So the fourth answer is correct. Make sense, Kashish? Gurmehar?
Yes, sir.
Akash?
मेरे को फर्स्ट
Yes.
पॉइंट समझ आ रहा है.
First point,
समझ नहीं आ रहा. कैपिटलाइजेशन ऑफ रिसर्च एंड
capitalization of research and development costs. What is the call of the question? First understand that. Which of the following is generally accepted accounting principle that illustrate the practice of conservatism? Out of these 4 points, which one is a gap? And how this statement illustrate that companies has followed conservatism approach? So in the first case, they are saying capitalization of research and development expenditure. If they are capitalizing research and development expenditure, that means they have not followed conservatism approach.
Yes, sir.
Right? But when they are doing reporting of inventory at lower of cost or market value, that means they have followed conservatism. What is conservatism approach? Where expenses are more but incomes are considered less. That is what conservatism is.
Yes, sir.
Right? How do you budget your monthly activities, right? So you will budget, like how much income you will be expected to be received and what all expenses you have to make in a month.
Yes, sir.
Right? And when you do conservatism budget, at that point of time, you recognize only the minimum income which you are 100% sure about it.
Mm-hmm.
Right? But expenses which you consider is more likely than not. That means you are recognizing the expenses more but income less. That is what the conservatism is all about.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Right? So if you see in the fourth point, inventory at lower the cost or market value, right? They follow conservatism. That means whatever is lower, you need to recognize the inventory at that value. That means remaining balance will go for provision for obsolete inventory.
Yes, sir.
So expenses will increase.
Mm-hmm.
Now makes sense?
Yes, sir. Clear.
Okay, second question. ND and company estimate uncollectible accounts expense using the ratio of past actual losses from uncollectible accounts and past net credits adjusted for anticipated condition. The practice follow the accounting concept of what? Consistency, going concern, matching, or substance over form. So what is the call of the question? A Limited, they do estimate of to create the provision for doubtful debt, right? And to create the provision for doubtful debt, they use the ratio based on the past year actual loss. For example, in previous year, there was $100,000 of credit sale, out of which, let's say $10,000 you have not received. So what is the percentage? What is the percentage? Shall I do math for you?
नहीं सर, बस एक बार numbers बता दो.
इससे
एक
numbers
second.
बता दो.
Let's do an Excel sheet. So let's assume financial year 2021, there was credit sales of 1 million, right? And there was bad debt of, let's say, 10,000. These were like actual bad debts. And in current year, you have actual sale of $1.5 million, right? So what will be the provision you should be making? So what they are saying, they have taken this divided by this much percentage, 1%.
सर वो
Right?
50,000 हो जाएगा.
So here is this multiplied by this $15,000, right? So now coming back to the question. And in company estimate uncollectible account expense using the ratio of past actual losses from uncollectible account to past net credit sale, right? So what they are saying, bad debts to credit sale, right? And adjust for anticipating condition. The practice follow the accounting concept of what? Consistency, going concern, matching concept, or substance over form.
Matching है
Matching हो
सर.
रहा सर.
Huh, sorry?
Matching है सर.
Matching.
Yeah, everyone agree? Matching concept?
Yes, sir.
Yes sir.
Yes.
Kashish?
Yes.
सर मैंने ही आंसर दिया.
Huh? Okay, you are the first one. Very good. Okay, third question of the day. Which of the following is correct concerning the financial statement disclosure of accounting policy? What is the call of the question? Which of the following statement is correct concerning financial statement disclosure of accounting policy? Accounting policy disclosures के लिए, right? First one is disclosure should be limited to principle and method peculiar to the industry in which company operate. So do we need to disclose only the industry related item? The answer is no, right? Second is disclosure of accounting policy is an integral part of the financial statement. Is the disclosure of accounting policy integral part of the financial statement? What are 5 things comes in
Yes.
financial statement? Balance sheet, income statement, cash flow statement,
cash flow,
statement of
equity
equity,
statement.
and notes to accounts, including
Notes to accounts.
accounting policy. Right? So yes, second option is correct. Third
सर
is
एक चीज बोलिए. सर इसका आंसर चलिए ठीक है, सेकंड वन इज करेक्ट, वो तो ठीक है. लेकिन सर जो आपने वो चीज बोली कि फुल सेट ऑफ फाइनेंशियल स्टेटमेंट्स पे अगर अपन जाते हैं तो सर अकाउंटिंग स्टैंडर्ड कोडिफिकेशन अब 205 है, या शायद उस पे आप जाके देखना, वहां पे नोट्स का जिक्र नहीं है। इंड एस 1 में है, एएस 1 में है, और शेड्यूल 3 इंडिया के केस में है। वहां पे एएससी के केस में नोट्स टू फाइनेंशियल स्टेटमेंट्स आर नॉट इंक्लूडेड।